Hi, I'm Natasha Lomas and this is the Samsung Galaxy S3, the phone so many of you have been waiting for. If you're a fan of the Samsung Galaxy S2, and we know many of you are, you'll be glad to hear Samsung hasn't messed with its formula too much. The S3 has a slightly bigger screen, a new, sleeker, pebble-like design, and a seriously powerful quad-core chip, but it's still definitely a member of Samsung's Galaxy family of devices. The S3 is a little bigger than its predecessor, thanks to a very large 4.8-inch display, but this curved design feels nicer in the hand. Despite being mostly made of plastic, the S3 looks and feels luxurious and premium, rather than plasticky and cheap, with a glossy coating and swooping metallic trim. And even though it's pleasingly thin, it's nice and solid, or as solid as a phone that lets you crack open the back and remove the battery can be. Android fans will also be happy that the S3 runs the very latest version of Google's Android OS, Ice Cream Sandwich. The Android operating system gives you multiple home screens to swipe around and load with apps and widgets. And of course you get access to Google's Play Store, where you can browse and download thousands of apps from the foul-flinging Angry Birds to BBC iPlayer or the social magazine Flipboard. Google's Android software is arguably not as intuitive and simple to use as Apple's iOS software, which runs on the iPhone and puts even more apps at your fingertips. But Android is a much less controlled environment than iOS, so if you're the sort of person who likes to tinker with your technology, twiddling settings and customizing functions to be just right, then you'll probably prefer the S3 to the iPhone. Conversely, if you're a tech newbie or you just prefer the simple life, you might find yourself getting frustrated by the S3's endlessly customizable Android universe, so Apple's iPhone is probably a better fit. On the front of the S3 is a big, gorgeous Super AMOLED screen. Resolution is 1280 by 720, which means this is a full HD screen. Videos and photos look truly stunning, and full desktop versions of websites are a real pleasure to flick and swipe around. Samsung has added a nifty feature called Pop-up Play, which makes good use of the S3's powerful 1.4 GHz quad-core engine by letting you watch video in a small window while doing something else on the phone. Samsung has also included a voice control app called S-Voice, so you can speak to the S3 to activate certain functions rather than tapping it, much like Apple's Siri voice assistant. On the back of the S3 is an 8-megapixel camera. This is the same amount of megapixels as the S2's lens. The S3 also has a 2-megapixel front-facing camera for video calls and to support Android's Face Unlock feature. Samsung uses this camera for another feature, which watches to see whether you're looking at the S3's screen. And if you don't look at it for a while, it will power down to save battery. It's potentially handy if a little gimmicky, provided you don't mind the thought of your phone watching you. As you'd expect for a mobile with such a large display and beefy engine, the S3 has a big appetite for battery juice. Expect to have to charge it at least every night. The S3 comes in 16, 32 or 64GB flavours, but there's also a micro SD card slot tucked away inside for expanding its digital shelves further. And Samsung has thrown in 2 years free access to 50GB of Dropbox cloud storage. All this mobile goodness does not come cheap. Currently the S3 costs around £500 SIM-free, or around £30 to £35 a month on 2-year contracts. It's certainly not a phone for everyone, and its premium price tag reflects that. Overall, the S3 is the Ferrari of Android phones. There's no doubting its unrivaled horsepower or luxurious feel, but it also has a supercar's price tag and appetite for fuel. I'm Natasha Lomas for CNET UK, and this is the Samsung Galaxy S3.